And we're back with another CMBW casual ladder match. This time it's the Shambler versus Benno. Can Benno withstand the power of the Shambler, a one-time tournament winner? Let's find out. In this replay, we're going to see Shambler take on Benno, just one match, on a map called Ex Situ. Let's see what they've got in store for us. We are going to see Benno as the Dark Sapphire Terran on the left spawn, and we will see the Shambler as the Snow Protoss on the right spawn. We do see the Shambler go full on minerals right away. He doesn't have any gas, so we don't see... I don't think Shambler is going to be doing any fast tech this game. He's probably going to run a gateway or lattice. We'll probably see some Zealot and or Vassal / Sim spam, depending on what route he chooses to take. Meanwhile, Benno's got one worker on gas. He is accumulating a little bit. He may be trying to time a Fulcrum first. I don't see this being a starport. He'd need to consistently have 2 workers from the beginning to do a fast starport. If not 3. Benno is... yeah, he's got to be saving for a Fulcrum. What's it going to be? And yeah, there you have it. It's a fast Fulcrum and a Benno. The Shambler is scouting. His scribe is on the way. It's nearly finished its pilgrimage to Benno's base, where it will pay respects. Hopefully by stealing some Vespene gas. The workers do cross paths as Benno leaves the base. Will we see any shenanigans from the Shambler? Does get a shot off on a Mason. It's yet to take any hull damage. Shambler pulls it away just in time. But it does eventually take a bit of hull damage. The Fulcrum finishes, and it's going to be Vulture first. Shambler sees this and leaves a gift for Benno. Will he commit and try to build some Wardens? Anchor going down in response. Benno does not want to be pressured by a Warden, but I don't see one finishing in time. The Vulture is done. The Scribe will be finished off. Oh no, the Scribe will be allowed to escape. I think that would have been an easy pick for this Vulture. Unless he's going to go around and try to catch it on the way in. We do see a Draconin on the way. One Draconin's already arrived. Gets stunned. Vulture is loaded into the anchor and begins whittling away at this pylon. The Draconin catches a couple blows, but is responded to by a squad of Masons. They're going to go for the surround, but they have yet to break the shields. The Vulture will join the fray. Vulture goes down. Doesn't look good for these Masons. Yep, the shields have been restored. Meanwhile, a Goliath and a Vulture take care of the pylon. But this will leave just the Vulture to respond here. It's not being repaired. It's not kiting back. And it leaves that Draconin with 10 HP. Very lazy response from Benno during this entire engagement, in my opinion. All of his units were uncoordinated. This Goliath is loaded into the anchor instead of helping this one respond to the Draconin. It is dispatched, so he is no longer under immediate pressure. Although another Draconin has appeared, it is being ordered home. Looks like the Shambler is interested in perhaps massing up a force. We do see there's a corpse here. I'm imagining that Mason may have come in to scout and was taken care of. Meanwhile, one pylon, by the way. We see the Shambler is floating 300 minerals and is now starting to get a little bit of gas. He is interested in taking an expansion, which he will do. Shambler does have a one-worker lead on Benno, but for the most part, they are even in unit counts. See three Goliaths from Benno, and a Vulture, which is now going to begin scouting around. It will make contact with the Dracodons and suffer a swift death. There is still one lobotomy mine on the ramp, which will hinder a forward assault, should the Dracodons choose to advance that far. They are deterred by the great range of the Goliaths and the anchor with cliff advantage. They take their licks and they hang back, likely for reinforcements. Meanwhile, we have an engineer inspecting, the quality of this installation. He's just making sure all this is up to snuff, that no Protoss structures are going to go falling through this building. We do see some more Dracodons defending this mineral line, possibly anticipating an air attack from Benno. Ministry is nearly complete here. I imagine Benno will, by the way he's postured here, wants to expand south as opposed to taking the safer base that's inside his main. He is dead set on doing so. He is going to drop his anchor down over here and begin engaging with the Dracodons, zoning them, forcing them back. The Dracodons are not fond of this activity. They will come in and tell that Goliath just what they think, but ultimately not doing a lot of damage. Third Goliath shows up. Benno could be repairing this Goliath with this Idle Mason over here. We do see an Idle Mason here. We do Mason is halfway complete. Another Fulcrum has gone down. Meanwhile, in Shambler's base, we see an embassy. He is very much interested in getting his worker count up. He wants to be saturated. He should have another... He needs to put another worker on his gas. He needs workers on his ridges. He's got more Dracodons coming out. I think we need to see more production structures out of the Shambler. If he's not saving for another base, that 500 minerals could be 2 lattices. It could be a rogue gallery. It could be another gateway. You name it. Shambler could be bolstering his forces while Benno plays it safe. Benno is starting to get this next expansion online. Meanwhile, Shambler's second base is well beyond the point of being up and running, save for his gas saturation. Not a lot of pressure being applied by either player at this point. Benno has not moved his bunker up to defend this mineral line. He has not started another anchor for his ramp. He is starting to get some blackjacks. He is going for a third Fulcrum. So he wants to go for primarily mech army. He's not interested in supporting his mech army. He doesn't want any medics. He doesn't want any shamans. He says, what I have is enough. He says, I'm not even going to repair my units. He says, my units will overpower the Shambler as they are, without support. I got this. I'm going to build a third Fulcrum. And we'll see just how that does for him. We do have a Vulture being chased by a Zealot. It's just playing the Benny theme while this is happening. Meanwhile, the Dracodons are moving out. Let's see, how many did the Shambler choose to amass? It looks like 12 was the magic number here. We have some Goliaths that encounter a Zealot. But I think Benno takes this as an omen. He doesn't like that. There was a sign that he was moving out. He doesn't want to get moved in on. He does load them into the anchor. And here comes the engagement. We do have a number of workers join the fight. They're not attacking. That was very sloppy Mason control from Benno, although it does seem to have successfully zoned the Shambler enough to buy him some time. Not a huge... it's not good that he's behind 7 workers, but he could have lost less workers if he had better unit control there, but overall not a devastating loss for Benno. Meanwhile, the Shambler lost a lot of Drakidans. He didn't get too much done. He killed a handful of workers. He killed a couple of Goliaths. But overall, that put him on the back foot. He does have some reinforcements that are moving out. He's getting an engram at home. He's getting a 3rd base up and online. He is saturating his gas. He's still not mining from his ridge. He's getting exemplars, which I think is a good shout here. Exemplars are going to let him zone Benno back. Exemplars are going to, he's going to be able to engage with his primary force, and then when Benno positions his units to get the most effective defensive coverage, you can come in with those exemplars from the side, you can snipe your heavy-hitting targets, and you can really just own the battlefield wherever you are. You do see the Shambler taking the long path. He wants to know if Benno has that 4th base. Benno, in fact, does not have that 4th base. And now it looks like Shambler wants to control this choke. He wants to know if Benno is moving out. And, he picked just the right time to do that. But he did not put his units on hold position. They are being moved back, and Benno is going home. So, Shambler did not have enough units to win that battle. Obviously, if these 4 Drakidans went up against this army head-on, the Drakidans would lose. But that range advantage and their ability to kind of pepper them for the amount of time it would take them to get here and some to get bunched here so that they could actually attack these units when they're revealed, that would be pretty bad for Benno. I wonder what's going to happen here. I wonder if Benno is going to choose to go up this path in order to engage that force. Benno is doing good about getting his worker count up, but he's still behind. High 11. He's got... Well, I was going to say some idle workers there, but he managed to move them in time. Still no add-ons on either of his ministries. He has added 2 more fulcrums. He is doubling down on the fulcrums. These will probably get palladiums, and that is correct. There's 2 palladiums going down. We are going to see T2, so that means, sentinels. And we have a force over here guarding the construction of this, what is a 3rd base for Benno, who has still not noticed that he has a base in his main. Will he ever notice, is the question. Meanwhile, Shambler's force here has not grown. It is now being tickled by a sentinel that has taken its own spot on the high ground. Meanwhile, we see a lot of defensive power coming up for the Shambler. Shambler wants to own his resources. He doesn't want to leave opportunities for Benno to bully him back. He's secured his production facilities. I don't see this ending well for Benno. Even though Benno can win this engagement here, this will just be the illusion of victory for Benno. This is going to make Benno feel confident about moving out, and Benno's going to very quickly realize that he's given Shambler a lot of time to fortify his position, and Benno's going to have no choice but to expand more. This base needs to come online, and Benno is going to have to work towards securing this base, and then making his plan as to how he's going to punch into the Shambler's defenses, how he's going to punch through a fleet of exemplars, how he's going to punch through an army of Dracodons. What is Benno going to do? I think he could go for Paladins. I think Paladins would be a good call for him. He is getting some Phalanxes, which is going to be good for handling Shambler's ground army, but, you know, it's going to be a rude awakening here for Benno when he realizes that Shambler has just got so many exemplars. He's going to be wishing that these were pumping out Goliaths and not Phalanxes very soon. He's got a sizable... Well, he's got two. Those are Matadors. He does have some additional ones up here. Will they siege? No, they get a lick from the engram, and they're like, no, you know, we don't really want any of that right now. They will siege and pick up these Dracodons very swiftly. That was good for Benno. But he, meanwhile, has lost all the workers in his main. He's evacuating all the workers to his third. His production structures are trying to... He still hasn't canceled these Phalanxes. He's only getting 2 Goliaths. There's no Watchdogs going down over there. He only has 1 Watchdog over here. There's 2 Goliaths in this anchor that aren't responding at all. I'm shocked that the Shambler is letting these Phalanxes just, like, blindly path over here. These Goliaths were not microed at all. One of them died completely helplessly. Meanwhile, Benno is trying to all-in. He is just charging on the static defense. Is he going to get the engram? He does get the engram. But all this stuff is going to get eviscerated by exemplars. You know, it's not long for this world. GG is called. You know, I think Benno just took too much of the bullying during this fight. He needed to be more proactive about putting the Shambler on the back foot. He needed to get some scribes or some shamans. He needed to keep his army alive. He needed to... I mean, he had tier 2. He could have gotten apostles. He could have just done more to be a more powerful, oppressive presence on the map. And instead he gave Shambler the time he needed to just to dig his feet in and push Benno out of the ring. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed watching, and I look forward to casting your submission. Bye.